Salvete omnes, welcome to our course overview for VHS Latin for the Level 1 course. You might be asking yourself some questions about VHS Latin. Why should I take Latin at all? Isn't it a dead language? What does the online course look like? What topics will I learn about? And how will I be assessed as a student? And of course, how does the VHS course line up with the Latin curriculum of Prince William County? Let's start with why should I take Latin? Isn't it a dead language? Just because something isn't spoken doesn't mean it's not useful. Latin really does help to build your English vocabulary and can help you on the SAT vocabulary portion of your SAT tests. That's because 60% of the English language comes from Latin. During our course, we're also making connections with your English and history classes. We'll also be covering Roman history and culture throughout the course, and this keeps you engaged and interested in the content that we're covering. Latin can also help to prepare you to learn a modern language. Because it's the basis of the Romance languages such as Italian, French, and Spanish, Latin gives you a great foundation in the grammar and vocabulary. Some of the topics we'll cover include gods and goddesses, the Roman Forum, and the bathhouses. We'll also explore Roman family life and housing. And lastly, we'll be talking about gladiatorial combats in the Colosseum and chariot races in the Circus Maximus. And these are just a few of the culture topics that we'll cover in the Level 1 course. What does the VHS course look like? All of our modules are thematically based on culture. So whether we're talking about the Seven Kings or the Roman Republic, your vocabulary is going to be centered around that topic. That really does help to reinforce the vocabulary and the information so that you can remember it and use it for future modules. We have video tutorials throughout the course, whether it's when we're teaching Latin vocabulary or Latin grammar, to help give you a visual image of what's going on and to help our auditory and visual learners. We have live lessons with your instructor. Just because there's a screen doesn't mean you're going to be alone in the VHS course. Your instructor is always there, whether it's through email or messaging. Your instructor also holds office hours. During those times, you can email or message your teacher, and you can expect to get an immediate response during those hours. Our live lessons are probably what my students think is the best part of the course. It's the time where you get to come and play with the language just like we would in a traditional classroom. And you can also be with your classmates learning the language at the same time. So the VHS course offers you a lot of things. It allows you to work at your own pace, but you still get to have that time where you have either one-on-one attention with your instructor during office hours if you need it, or you're with your peers and classmates during that time, playing with the language and working with the grammar. How will I be assessed? You'll be assessed in a variety of ways. One of them is interactive discussion boards, and we tend to explore connections between your modern day culture and the ancient Roman culture during these discussion boards. We also have project-based assessments on culture, and we do writing and oral assignments to reinforce the grammar that you're learning. We also do translation and reading assignments so that we can assess how your ability to comprehend a Latin passage. We make connections with the language and culture all throughout the course. How does it line up with the Prince William County Latin curriculum? We cover the Virginia SOL objectives for Latin and the same grammatical concepts in Prince William County's Latin curriculum for Latin Level 1. We also follow the actual national standards for classical language learning, our 5 C's: communications, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities. Is VHS Latin for me? Are you self-motivated and self-disciplined? There is a lot of information in a Level 1 course, and you need to make sure that you are able to put forth the time and effort and that you have good study skills and habits to complete the course. Do you want to prepare to learn a modern language? Latin is a great foundation for this. Are you interested in the topics of ancient Roman culture, mythology, and history? This is one of our favorite parts for our students. And do you want to improve your English vocabulary? Yes, it'll help you on your SAT test, but more importantly, it'll help broaden your own English vocabulary. I hope this course overview has given you a good idea of what you can expect from the Level 1 Latin course. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Virtual High School and ask. Well, Latte Omnes, I hope to see you in our virtual classroom.